Hello everyone, welcome to the Maltepe University Software Quality Assurance class, Case Study Analysis Project Presentation. In this presentation, we will work on the AtekPC Project Management Office case study. In the first step, we will gather the information from the case by analyzing it to find the key issues from it. Then we will going to draft the case with the information gathered on the first step. So let's go on. Now, the question is, how should be the correct way of making a case study analysis? A case study analysis should identify the key issues and problems and draw appropriate solutions instead of general summary. So the case study analysis can be broken down into the following steps. The first step is identify the most important facts surrounding the case. The second one is identify the key issue or issues. Then specify alternative courses of action. The fourth one is evaluate each course of action. Then the last one, recommend the best course of action. Now, the steps of drafting a case study analysis, we can dive into it with 5 steps. The steps of a case study. The first step is introduction. Then the second step is background. Third step is evaluation of the case. Fourth one is the proposed solution or changes. Then the last one is recommendations. So in this presentation, I will work on the introduction, evaluation of the case, and recommendations phase. Now, the first one is introduction. Introduction steps are: Step 1. Identify the key problems and issues in the case study. Then Step 2. Formulate and include a thesis statement summarizing the outcome of your analysis in 1 or 2 sentences. Now, the first step of the introduction phase is on the specific case AtekPC. In 2016, AtekPC took several initiatives to anticipate future conditions. They set up the Strategic Planning Office, responsible for determining strategies for dealing with business changes. The Project Management Office works under Strategic. The Planning Office focuses on developing IT projects that are expected to be the future will be the Project Management Office of the company as a whole. In recent years, AtekPC has developed a portfolio of applications extensive. The application basically focuses on operational business functions for PC manufacturing, such as accounting, financing, manufacturing, sales functions, and distribution. The architecture of integration between functions has been built but only provides little information for cross-functionality. Project handling for development is carried out on demand for each function without there is standardization in project handling. This is a problem for AtekPC. Why this is a problem? Because of the operational projects for each function become very many, but projects that are intended for companies overall very little or almost nothing. This gives rise to a lot of complaints that demand development in the project. Now, the second step is, let's go to the previous slide, the formulate and include a thesis statement summarizing the outcome of your analysis in 1 or 2 sentences. So, the AtekPC realized that when they say, so what was needed for the future forward, then they realized that they needed to move aggressive, project dependent, and must be able to cope with several projects simultaneously. Hence, the decision to implement Project Management Office conducted at AtekPC in 2006. At the beginning of its implementation, the PMO at AtekPC had responsibilities that had not yet been implemented clear. Their responsibilities are limited to IT projects, though has been announced that in the future its duties will be expanded to include business projects in the future. In general, at the beginning of the implementation of the PMO, tasks are divided into 2 categories. focus on the project, and orientation to the company. Now, what is the focus on the project thing? So, focus on the project is consultation, mentoring, and training for the success individual projects. Then the next one is orientation to the company. Provide services to develop all projects such as portfolio management, project management standardization, methods and tools, as well as project performance documentation. Now, the third step of the case study is evaluation of the case. Evaluation of the case steps are outline the various pieces of the case study that you're focusing on. The second one is evaluate these pieces by discussing what is working and what is not working. Basically, find out what are the problems are. Then the last step of evaluation of the case is state why these parts of the case study are or are not working well. Now, step 1, we're gonna outline the various pieces of the case that we are focusing on. I divide these pieces to the multiple sections. The first one is title, thoughtful title that captures the essence of the case study. What do you mean by the essence of the case study? So when we read the title, we need to have a general information about the case, like the AtekPC case study is giving us general information about the given case. So the next one is abstract or summary, a 1 or 2 paragraph statement summing up the study. What we need to answer these questions in the abstract or summary phase, like what, why, when, where, how, and who. The next one is introduction, and the following is background. Then hypothesis, methodology, results or data, and analysis and conclusions. The step 2. Step 2 is evaluate these pieces by discussing what is working and what is not working. Basically, find out what the problems are. The pieces that I focused on this case is the AtekPC Project Management Office is the title of the given case study. In general, in terms of giving us information about the content of the case, it should be chosen correctly and be compatible with the content of the case. In this case, the title is giving us general information about the case before diving into it. So it is working on this case properly. It's coming to our next focus. There is a useful summary about the summary, as it contains a few lines of paragraphs and a thesis statement suitable for the case and gives us a bird's eye view about the content of the event on the specific event in this case. Like we can just examine the issues on this case, right? So we need to get a general information about the case by dividing the pieces. So in the introduction section, it also gives preliminary information about the subject and informs the reader beforehand, rather than diving into the details of the subject, allowing them to follow this case study process more fluently. In the parts related to the hypothesis, methodology, results, data obtained, analysis, and the conclusion reached at the end of the study. We analyze the given case, carry out ideas, and as a result of these ideas and analysis, we should analyze the case from general to specific, without giving place to explanatory, unnecessary sentences, without going out of the context. It supports us to get somewhere. For this reason, I can say that we use them efficiently in our case study. Step 3. The case state why these parts of the case study are or not working well. The work we carried out on the given parts case also helped us in terms of understanding the problems in general, then analyzing the problem and providing solutions by making predictions with the outputs we obtained as a result of the analysis on the problem. Therefore, these parts are working well. Now, the last phase of the case study. Recommendation steps. Determine and discuss specific strategies for accomplishing the proposed solution. If applicable, recommend further action to resolve some of the issues. What should be done and who should do it? Now, step 1. Determine and discuss specific strategies for accomplishing the proposed solution. By hiring the right people and educating these people, the quality of work can be increased so that better quality products can be produced in the competitive market and the performance can be increased where the cost can be reduced. By hiring workers from countries such as China, where the workforce is cheap and the technology knowledge per individual is high, or by establishing offices and factories in those countries where they will carry out the researching studies, labor cost can be reduced and maximum efficiency can be obtained from technology. With the savings achieved here, an advantage in the competitive market can be achieved by reducing the prices of the products. By making good processes planning for the future, estimated risks are also taken into account, and budget planning can be done correctly for possible future crises. In this way, possible crisis situations can be exited with minimum damage, and the value of the company is protected to an optimum extent. Now, step 2. If applicable, recommend further action to resolve some of the issues. With the strategies I mentioned in the previous step, existing or possible future problems can be prevented. In addition to these, in these strategies, there may be situations where you gain somewhere and lost somewhere. For example, in order to reduce the work done in the formula work equals distance taken x time. The distance taken can be shortened, or the same path can be taken in a shorter time. These two solutions will provide convenience from work. By changing the parts, the effect on the business can be observed and revised again. Let's not forget that if all problems had a definite solution, every company and every individual could easily solve all problems by applying that solution. However, unfortunately, every problem can have many solutions depending on the time, place, and various conditions, and we can only see which one works better by trying them. Now, the last step of recommendation is what should be done and who should do it. Same as the previous section, if there was definite information about what to do, everyone would do it and overcome all problems. However, not all problems have definitive solutions. In this way, we can produce solutions to these only by doing research on these cases and based on various knowledge and experience. As for who will do this work, it should be carried out meticulously by company managers, experienced individuals, and authorized persons in the sector in which the company works. There should be a board of directors, and the risks taken by making joint decisions should be shared within the board. Studies carried out with the right people are more likely to be successful. Thanks for listening.